Hey everybody, it's Country Girl. It is time for another recipe. I hope you guys are ready. This is a cherry dump cake. And it is, oh my God, believably, you guys, we're going to fall in love with this cake. I make it all the time, everywhere I go, and there's never any left. So, one thing to tell you right off, I am going to be making this for my people like myself. I have a lot of friends and a lot of my YouTube family that are diabetics that can't have the processed sugar. So, it's really hard to find desserts when you can't have sugar that taste good. You can find sugar-free stuff all over the place, but it either tastes like cardboard or it's got such a horrible aftertaste that you just can't stand it. So this one, you guys, this is no sugar added. The only sugar in this dessert is the natural sugar from the fruits. So you can have this. Keep in mind the cake part of it is carbs, so you do have to watch it. You can't eat the whole thing, but you can have a decent slice with maybe a little no sugar added vanilla. Oh my gosh, it's so good. That said, those of you who do not need to watch your sugars, you will not be able to tell the difference. I'm telling you now, I make this for my bosses, I make this for families, I make this for a friend of mine that does a catering service, for her guests. Nobody will know this is no sugar added if you don't tell them. You can do this with regular. You can use the full sugared pie fillings. You can use a regular cake. You can. But this is already really rich. And a regular one, you won't be able to stomach more than a bite or two unless you just got this horrible sweet tooth. So, that being said, let me go over real quick what we're going to put in it. And I'll show you how easy this is. Okay? First thing you're going to need is a large can of pineapple, crushed pineapple, in its juices. I think this is a 20-ounce can, so you want it in its juices. You can either get one large can of the pie filling, or I have two of the smaller ones. This is a no sugar added cherry pie filling. The only place I've been able to find it are the major grocery stores, Kroger's, H-E-B, they carry them, Randall's. You guys in Florida, Publix will have it because I bought it there. But these are two 20-ounce cans as well. There's two of these. You're going to need a box cake mix. This is a yellow cake. This is, if you've not, for my diabetic friends, if you have not tried this, this is Pillsbury makes a sugar-free cake. It's really good, y'all. I do not care for the icing they make with it, so I usually make my own. But the cake mix itself is really good if you've never tried it. You're going to need some chopped pecans. This is a little small bag. I think this is 2.5 ounces. I usually use two of these. I only have one on hand and they're kind of pricey, so I'm just going to make one stretch. But if you like a lot of nuts, by all means use two or use one of the big packs. And last but not least, you're going to need some butter. This is one stick of butter. It is cold. You want it cold, guys. This is one of those times in baking that you do not want it to come to room temperature. You want it cold, okay? And I've cut it into cubes. If you guys can see these, they're just cubes, okay? I basically cut it 3 times, flipped it over, cut it 3 more, and sliced across. But that's what you want. And it needs to be cold, really cold, okay? So we're going to get started. I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to show you really how easy this is. Let me get my hair out of the way. Because really, who wants hair in their food, right? Like I said, y'all, I am a down-home person. I'm a down-home cook. I don't do nothing fancy. I can. Don't get me wrong. I can cook those fancy meals. But my whole goal with this series is really just to... I forgot my spoon. But my whole goal with this series is really to show you that even everyday people and everyday cooks, housewives, husbands, moms, sisters, you don't need a culinary degree to cook good food for your family. And it's not as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. So I really hope you guys enjoy this series and you'll be willing to try some of this stuff. Really try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You don't like it and throw it away? Big deal. Try it again. Okay? So, first layer is the pineapple. You're going to pour it in the pan, juice and all. And you just spread it out even in the pan. Let me get this out of your way so you can see. There we go. You just want an even layer in the pan. And you're going to do the same with your pie fillings right on top of the cherry. Just kind of spread it out across there. Half per side. This stuff, y'all, is so good. I could eat this with a spoon, trust me. So this is going to be on this half. And I kind of just push it down into that juice because I want some of that juice to come to the top. You really want the juice at the top. It needs to come into as much direct contact with the cake mix as you can get it. So I'm going to put this one on the other side. If you're not a big fan of cherry, you can also do this with blueberries. You could do this with peaches. Just about any berry fruit. I did it with strawberry once. I didn't care for it. But blueberries, peaches, blackberries is good. You know, but this is the only pie filling other than apple that I've found that they offer in a no sugar added variety. So if you want to do those, you may have to make your own. And if that's the case, if you want to know how to prepare pie fillings for diabetics or somebody who's just watching the weight and you don't want the sugar, send me a message. Go through on my YouTube channel, go to my channel, then to go to About. Scroll to the bottom and it'll give you a link to send me a message. Send me a message if you want to know that, and I'll be happy to get with you and tell you how to do that. If there's enough interest in it, you guys, I'll go ahead and do a video for you, but just let me know, okay? The stuff is so good. Okay, you got your pineapples in the juice, a cherry pie filling in the juice. Now comes the cake. This is going to be sifted, you guys. I use one of these because it's the easiest thing for me, and I can just do an even layer as I'm going. If you have an actual sifter that you like, by all means, if you want to sift the whole thing first, you know, one of the little pull squeezers or the turn cranks, either way. But what you're going to do is you're just going to go all the way around, and you need this in as even a layer as you can get it. Because if you get it too thick on one spot and not another, then that spot's not going to cook all the way because it has to be able to absorb. The moisture is what cooks the cake. Because as you can see, I'm putting this on here dry. Okay? So it's got to have enough moisture. So I'm going to get it mostly spread out, and then I'll do it with my hands here in a second. But this is probably the most time-consuming thing of the whole dessert. But it's really good. You're going to be glad you did it, and you're going to be glad that you've sifted it because it has to be really fine in order to absorb that and cook right. A little bit left in the bowl. All right. And I'm just going to take my hands, make sure you get them into the corners. And one great thing with using a glass pan, I can kind of look at it and see if I've got it level across there. A little bit more in this corner. Okay. And if you do like I did and you take a little too much off there and you get some of the fruit bleeding through, just move a little bit back over there. Okay, give me just a second. Let me wash my hands. I don't normally do my videos sitting down, but with my setup until my attachment gets here, I don't have my tripod. I have a tripod that someone gave me. And in honor of Pawpaw over at Doing It Cheap, the tripod she gave me was, or is, for a normal video camera, which I'm not using. I'm using a tablet. But I found on Walmart.com, I found an adapter for a cell phone or tablet, which will adapt and plug straight into that tripod. So I get a whole tripod set up, and the whole thing, thanks to the generosity of friends, cost me a little over $6. So that's cool. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the little cubes of butter, and you kind of got to do this fast because your hands are going to start to melt this. But the reason you want this cold is because you want the butter to melt slowly. If it's already softened too much, then it's going to melt almost immediately in one spot and it's not going to spread out. So that's the reason that you want it cold. There's no rhyme and reason to this. I'm just kind of covering them as much of it as I can get to cover as much of the surface, okay? All I'm doing, and like I said, you kind of have to work fast because just the heat in your hands will start to melt this, so. And I've had mine sitting out for a little bit while I was getting everything ready for you guys, so. I know people that use a stick and a half of butter to do this because they literally want every inch, but I personally don't think it's necessary. And I can save on some of the fat calories. Somebody asked me, could you do this with margarine? And I said, why? There's just not much of anything better on the planet that tastes better than real butter, in my opinion. And real butter is actually better for you because it's not a processed oil spread, you know. It's the real dairy, and it's better and healthier for you, so. And by the time this all spreads out, you're really not getting that much per bite anyway, so. It may seem like a lot, but when you break it out by the serving, it's really not that much butter, so. I can tell you that my bosses really love me when I make this because obviously I can't leave this in my house. If I leave this whole thing in my house, I'm eating this whole thing. And that's just not cool. So my bosses will get probably 2/3 of this. I'll split between them. And then I'll munch on a little bit of it myself. They may get a little bit more this time too. You never know. So now that you got your butter on there, take your pecan pieces and just sprinkle them evenly across. And then, like I say, if you like more pecans, if you're a big pecan person, you know, use 2 of these. Make a thicker layer. It'll be perfectly fine. This is just what I had on hand. And that's it, guys. Literally, that's it. This is ready to go in the oven. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees. You're going to put this on the middle rack. Depending on your oven, it's, I don't know, 40 minutes, maybe 45. You just keep an eye on it. When the cake has absorbed all the liquid and it's actual cake, the cherry and pineapple will come bubbling up on the edges. You'll see it when all the powder's gone and there's no more powder. It's golden brown on the top. That's when it's done. And it should take you, like I said, depending on your oven, between 35 and 45 minutes, maybe 50. Just depends. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I'll be back when it's done, and we'll cut into it, and I'll show you what it looks like all finished. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm back. The timer just went off. I'm going to go pull this out of here, and oh my God, you guys, if you could smell my house. Woo, let me go get it. I got to show you. I'll be right back. Here it is, guys. I'm going to pick the camera up a little bit for you and give you a better shot of it. It is bubbling and oozing and unbelievably good. There it is. Can you guys see it? I'm not looking at the thing, so I can't tell if you're seeing it, but I hope it is working for you, and I hope you can see it. I had a lot of fun. If you give me just a couple of minutes, this needs to cool off just a little. It is molten hot. Cool off just a few minutes, and I'll cut into it and take a bite and tell you how it tastes. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. We've got taste. I mean, God, I really wish you guys could smell my house right now. I'm going to go just to get it a little bit off of this corner. Kind of getting in the evening time, and I don't need too much, so I could literally sit here and eat this whole thing, though. As you can see, it's still piping hot, but that's not going to stop me because it's that good. Y'all ready? I mean, the cake is moist. The cherries just split open all their juice and the pineapples. Oh my gosh, you guys, I wish you could smell this. Mm. You guys have got to try this. And I'm telling you, you will never know it's a sugar-free cake mix. You will never know there is no sugar added to this. It is unbelievably good. It's buttery, moist. It's sweet from the cherries and it's a little bit tart from the pineapple. It's really good. You guys try this. Tell me what you think of it. And don't forget, if you want to see more, subscribe to my channel and click that little thumb down there for me and help me out. And I would be happy to. And if you guys have anything else you want me to make, send me a message. You know, you can pop me through my channel. You can email me. My email is COUN_tree_girl@yahoo.com. So you can email me too if you have a suggestion. And leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Talk to y'all later. Come back to my kitchen next time. Bye-bye.